Comes from Fifi. Fifi gets the smart speaker, if you have one for us, send it in. confessions@greatesthitsradio.co.uk. Fifi says, Dear Father Simon and the Confessional Collective, my story goes back to 2004 when sat-navs were very much a new phenomenon in the world of driving. A friend of mine had a relative who died, but I couldn't go to the funeral. I could, however, go to the service the evening before when the body was being received into the church. The church was in the countryside, about 30 miles away, and one that I'd not been to before. I knew that I could just about make it on time as long as I didn't get lost. So my husband says to me before I set off, why don't you use the tom-tom? And I said, what's that, the Anglo-Indian drum that starts in Sri Lanka? Interesting suggestion. Yeah. No, he said, work gave me one today. It's like an electronic map that talks to you and tells you where to go. Well, this was one of the most ridiculous things I'd ever heard of, but I was happy to give it a go if it got me to the church on time, as the saying goes. We both then went out to the car. He typed the address of the church, plugged it into the cigarette lighter, stuck the tom-tom onto the windscreen. I just watched in awe. My only instructions were not to touch it, to remove it before I went to the church, though obviously those two things go against each other, and wipe off any signs of the round mark made on the windscreen, as it was a sign to burglars that I had a tom-tom, and was therefore prosperous, well-to-do, worth breaking into, and ate hummus.
Yeah. There you go.
To reference to yesterday.
Yeah.
I arrived at the church with 5 minutes to spare. The tom-tom was fantastic. I wiped the round mark off the window screen and went into the church. At the end of the service, we all queued up quietly in the aisle to pay our respects to the family and to walk past the coffin. The vicar was watchful, curate also. The church was quiet, very respectful. There were tears, of course. Everyone was solemn. As I approached the coffin, a very strange thing happened.
Oh, no.
Out of nowhere, a voice boomed out, "You have reached your destination." Everyone looked at me in disgust. I had no idea no idea what the voice was, where it was coming from. I mean, I put my handbag down. It seemed to be coming from there. And I turned to stared back at the queue, looking innocent. I thought I might have got away with it. When I reached the coffin, the voice goes, "Make a U-turn. Turn around if possible. And then again, you have reached your destination." Well, I realised by then it must be the tom-tom in my bag, and was horrified. It was obvious no one else in the church had one, and thought it was some kind of bad joke, though they hadn't heard one either. They thought I'd made the recording on purpose. From the looks I was getting from the clergy, they all thought I was, 1, disrespectful, 2, denying the existence of heaven. Final destination indeed. I think our Lord will have something to say about that. I could tell that's what the vicar was thinking, even though he said nothing. Pursing his lips like that, as did the curate. Anyway, I scurried out of the church and drove home. I was under strict instructions not to touch the thing, so, and it tried to take me back to the church for the whole journey. Anyway, when I got home, my husband said, "How did you get on with the tom-tom?" Well, Simon, I simply can't tell you what my language was, because it isn't fit to be repeated on your show. And then Fifi says, "It's obvious who I need to apologise to. To this day, the family don't know it was me." I mean, I would have thought it's definitely the woman with the tom-tom in the handbag is what I think most people would have concluded from that. Anyway, a surreal combination of a tom-tom and a funeral. Back in the days when people did not know what tom-toms were actually going to do. Sister Susie from the pub.
Well, Fifi, that really made me chuckle. And I don't think you're the only one it's happened to. Now, I would say it's probably your phone or your smartwatch that starts talking at inappropriate moments. We've all been there. And also, I just love that you just did not think to turn it off. Just turn it off before you go in.
You wouldn't think. You just
leave it in the glove compartment.
She was told not to touch it.
But she took it in her bag. But yeah, no, I'm going to forgive her because, I had a tom-tom that someone had programmed to speak like Yoda.
Oh, really?
Oh, no. That get intensely annoying after 10 minutes.
Yes, it was. So I forgive Fifi.
Brother Matthew.
Yeah, we are squarely in Derek Nimmo territory here, aren't we? Yes, 70s sitcom with the tom-tom. I'm definitely going to be. I remember being massively excited when we got sat nav for the first time, and we went on a journey, and it involved going on. I think it was the M6 toll road, which had only just been built, and the tom-tom had no clue and thought we were driving through fields. It was superb. So yes, you've reached your destination. Well done. I love it. Definitely forgiven.